Hi, I'm Jim Hubbard with Double H Outfitters. Our goal here at Double H is to make memories for all different people, husbands, wives, children, anybody that has a passion for waterfowl hunting. We are located in eastern Arkansas, southern Lee County. Our farm is between the White River, Mississippi River, Langell River, Cache River, but everybody always talks about being in an X, and that's kind of what our farm is in the X. We hold a lot of birds. We get a lot of traffic birds. You'll see a lot of ducks traveling in the mornings. They get up from the roost and go into feed somewhere. So we get, besides what we have naturally on the farm, we get a lot of birds that aren't actually roosting on the farm or staying on the farm, but we get a lot of flight, traffic. So we get not only birds that we're actually holding, but we get a lot of traffic from both directions, which kind of puts us in the middle of the X, I guess you'd say. When we started this project and everything, my wife and I talked about it, and the older we're getting, we either needed to do it or forget the dream. My wife and I sat down one winter and started drawing up plans of what we kind of wanted. Going on a hunting trip, I always look at it, there's three different areas. You've got to have good food, good lodging, and good hunting. And we're blessed with a good hunting. I mean, that was a given. And so we just tried to target, we wanted to have a really nice lodge where people could come, feel comfortable, feel at home. Nothing just over the top, but yet have a family atmosphere. We've got 12 private bedrooms. Each bedroom has 4 beds and a day bed. So theoretically, you could sleep 5 people in each bedroom. Each bedroom has a full private bath. So, out of the 12 bedrooms, we very rarely are at capacity because we don't mix groups. Any group that comes in, if they've got, 4 people, then they get 1 bedroom. If they got 5, depends on if it's children, if it's adults or whatever. A lot of times we'll break it up, and so they get 2 bedrooms and so on, we've got pool tables, we've got a poker table, we've got different things going on. We offer afternoon, goose hunts, afternoon pheasant hunts. When clients come in, usually I tell them they can come whenever they can get here, but normally I'll tell them 3 o'clock in the afternoon is kind of on the average. But when they come in, if they don't have their hunting license, we can go ahead and get those that night online. We can get that for them. The lodge is located pretty well in the center of all of our ground. So the guides pick them up at the end of the building. In the mornings, they load up in the side-by-sides and ride to the blind. They just step right out of that, don't have to walk any distance at all. A lot of times it's taking 3 steps and you're stepping down in the blind, And that's probably the biggest thing, that when people come in, it's like, wow, we don't have to, when they get here, they don't have to get in their vehicle and drive anywhere unless they just absolutely want to. They don't have to get up in the mornings and have to, drive somewhere. They don't have to drive to get, we've got a gift shop and everything, and we have shotgun shells and different amenities and stuff like that. So if somebody leaves their gloves at home or leaves their, gun case or any stuff like that, we've got that in our gift shop, to kind of help keep people from having to drive 45 minutes to some place where they can get what they need. Normally, depending on what night it is, we have different meals, different nights. I've got some ladies that work for us that are, they do authentic Mexican food one night, and that's a big hit during the week. So we put in the buffet line, we do a buffet breakfast, usually have a soup or chowder or something like that, sandwiches for lunch, and then of course nighttime is always, full-fledged meals. Duck breast and quail, on Friday night. Saturday night's always steak and all-you-can-eat crab legs, and then we have all the fixings to go with it. We have odd and end other things during the week, but it's a meal that you'd have to go to a pretty nice restaurant to get. Hunting is hunting, and you can't control the ducks. You can't control weather situations. You can't control that, but you can give it your all, 110%, and that's what the guides do. And it shows in the numbers of the ducks that we kill. we really put up some good numbers. You have a freeze come in and everything freezes, and you know, having to try to keep the water, you know, thawed, you know, with ice heaters. The guides will run around the clock. They'll get up, you know, a couple of times during the night and go make sure that the generators are running and trying to keep holes open so that the clients will have a, you know, their best opportunity the next morning as far as shooting birds. The Duck Lodge has really grown. It's taken off, and there's a lot to it as far as booking clients and all throughout the summer and everything like that. And you know, my chances to go duck hunting are few and far between. I don't get to duck hunt near what I used to, but in that same aspect, I guess, I enjoy more dealing with the clients, talking to them, hearing their stories, where they've been before, where they've hunted before, and in turn, hear them talk about how good of a time they've had here with a big smile on their face, especially if they bring kids or grandkids. We've got clients now that are grandfathers that are bringing their grandchildren and are making a yearly trip out of it, you know, and this is their time together. And so making those type memories for other people is probably the big plus in all of this, you know. And my wife Dina and myself, that's what our deal was, making memories. We wanted to make memories for people. Everybody thinks that early November that there's no ducks in Arkansas. And usually opening weekend is one of our, I mean, we hold a lot of ducks. This past season, opening weekend was probably as close to where I have seen it as when I was 13, 14 years old. We had so many birds, it was unbelievable. And we're blessed because we can do that. Every year we catch the first flight of ducks down and we hold them. That's what makes it successful. All of the experiences that I had growing up, of course, things have changed tremendously over the years, you know, but all of the different things that I, you know, did growing up as far as duck hunting, deer hunting, and everything out in the country, I call country life, is something that's, I guess it's lost in today's society a lot with kids. And, you know, the older you get, you get more of a perspective, I guess, on the younger generation. I've got a grandson named Jackson, and I really look forward to the time when he gets up to the age where I can start taking him duck hunting, and hopefully let him be able to see some of the things that I saw when I was a kid growing up. But anyway, this is kind of something that we're building for a legacy for him, and you know, something that he'd be proud of. Whenever he gets older and everything, he can say, you know, this is what my grandma and grandpa built, and you know, this is what they started back when I was a kid. So, you know, something to, as well as the farm, to carry on, but then the Duck Lodge also, something that could be passed down to future generations.